All right, let's get this going. Off the cuff, no preparation, one take. We are going to make the most of this. We just saw Paraguay classify for its first World Cup in, what was it, 13 years? 13 years, 14 years?
16.
16? Might as well be. Might as well be 100 years. Too many years. But the Paraguayans are crazy about their football, their soccer, and rightfully so. So, I have a fellow expat here that has a very interesting story and is here in Paraguay for, I think, all the right reasons. So I definitely want to get his take on, why he's here, whole situation. Start with, of course, what's your name?
Austin.
Austin. Austin, where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
Canada. Awesome. So, yeah, just to get right into it, give us kind of like the high level overview as to what it was like going from, okay, I'm stuck in Canada. This kind of ain't for me, and why you chose Paraguay, and what ultimately made you decide here before you bought the flight.
Yeah, good question. I think it was just like it was actually just like a lot of things. It was the cost of living, the rent, uh, the culture in Canada. A lot of these things, once you like kind of add them all up together, it starts to kind of take a toll. And for me, it was just like, okay, there's got to be something better out there. And so what that ended up being was Paraguay. And for me, it was like probably one of the more like biggest risks I've taken, considering the how I found out about Paraguay and the circumstances that led up to it. But I personally could never be any happier, honestly. Like it's been
Awesome.
massive blessing.
Awesome. Awesome. And how old are you?
I'm 29.
29. Awesome. So you mentioned it was a big risk. I guess what were like kind of maybe some fears you had going into it?
Yeah. I think the first one was like submitting all this documentation, and I'm like, is my like identity gonna get stolen or something?
Talking about getting like for the residency, right?
Yeah. Like I was like, okay, this is a lot of information. Like, and I'm just handing it over to some strangers. This is like everything you're not supposed to do. And I did it, and it obviously like worked out phenomenally. The other things were sorry, can you actually repeat the question? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no problem. What was kind of like your worst case scenario? Like, oh
Oh,
shoot, if I do this and it all goes to crap, what would that look like?
Well, at the time, I didn't know too much about the history of Paraguay, or like I do know a lot more about the country now. So that was something I just didn't like really understand, like why Paraguay was suggested. It's not someone's like first thought when like going to another country is like most people would think, oh, I might go to Europe, or I might go to Mexico, or I might go to like Southeast Asia. And so for me, I'm someone that likes to like kind of fly under the radar.
Yep.
Kind of a direct contrast during this interview. Not necessarily flying under the radar, but it kind of suits me as like a personality where it's just like
Great point.
it people generally are very nice here, and so like you gotta just it's just muy tranquilo, as the term has been passed around many times. I think that's like very true. So that was one of the risks. Was I wasn't totally entirely informed about like the country itself, and so going into it blind, I was just like, okay, this is kind of part of the spice of life at the end of the day, right? Is if you're stuck at home or sitting behind a desk, you can do something else. Like it doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to stick in the same routine. Like it doesn't have to be like that at all. I'd say the other final risk was maybe like the language barrier. I was a little concerned about not being fluent in Spanish, how that would translate over. But like that itself isn't like another thing that like if you're proactive and like just spending enough time in the country, you'll soon like figure out, I think, pretty quickly and pick up on a lot of phrases. So those were like the three main things, which were, yeah, not knowing too much about the country, Cost of living in Canada like was just like a big risk. I didn't really feel like I was like living in Canada. I was just existing.
Yes.
I came to Paraguay,
Yes.
and now I feel like I'm living. It's just a
Yes.
huge thing. It's just the biggest unlock of my life coming here. And the final thing is just like the language barrier. It can be troublesome sometimes, but uh, that's just something that I'm actively working on and comes with time. Hope that answers the question.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. A couple fire quotes that you just threw out right there. You didn't feel like you were really living in Canada. You were just existing. And I think a lot of us can resonate with that, just like kind of back in our home countries. We're going through the motions every day and we're going through this grind, like with like they're promising us that there's gonna be some light at the end of the tunnel. But then little by little, day by day, we realize that the light really just isn't there. And we really are just putting in reps and watching the days go by just for the sake of doing it. And a lot of times that sparks us to find the motivation to go find an environment, find a country where we can actually get more sauce out of life, right? Get more spice out of every single day that we have, even when we don't have all the information on the front end. So I can totally relate. Like when I first came to Latin America, yes, I did a lot of research. I go on YouTube, I go on TikTok. You might be at home watching us and kind of being debating, oh, should I go or should I not? And
Do
kind of
it.
looking to us to make your decision and online and then but you can research all day. You're never gonna know what it's actually like until you just buy the flight and go.
100%.
So yeah, you just gotta send it. You just gotta send it. And like, what is the worst that can happen, right? Sure, you go and like, maybe you don't really fit in, or your online job lets you go, or your business doesn't take off, and then you go back to your home country and you just try again. Like there's nothing to lose. So yeah, it's never gonna be the perfect time. You're never gonna have it all figured out. Don't tell yourself that you need to get the next promotion or figure out a little bit more in your home country or save up an extra $20,000. Like, dude, screw your $20,000, bro. Take $5,000 and come here, and you're gonna live so much better. So yeah, I'm glad you brought those points up. Next thing, when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned a topic that I think is very, very prevalent here in Paraguay, and that's freedom.
Yes.
Tell me about why you think Paraguay is the land of the free.
Yeah. I think
If you do, I personally do.
I do. Yeah. Like a lot of times, at least in comparison to like a lot of like of the what's considered like first world countries like
The
Canada,
West.
Europe, the West. For example, right? Like I'll just give you just like a straight up example. Australia and Canada ban flavored tobacco. Australia is like banning cigarettes past a certain year. Uh, like who are they to like determine what you can put in your body, or as far as like you want to talk about like being liberal, like that's like the least liberal thing is like prescribing what you can or can't do. And that's like a small example, but for me that like speaks a lot to like the culture and the governance here in terms of like showcasing freedom. That's just like a small thing, but it starts with small things.
It's the fact that people put up with it.
Exactly. And but that's just like one thing. The other things, the fact that you can, I don't know how spicy you can edit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how spicy you can go into this stuff, but
It's
also
up to you.
it's also I feel
Right, right.
myself out there with that.
Yeah, we don't gotta go too deep on
Yeah,
this.
okay. But that's like an example.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess speak a little bit more on like your experience here. Yes, we know the West is cooked and you can't get away with anything over there. But what do you feel like here in terms of just like that, the feeling of comfort, liberation? Like, how have you felt?
yeah. For me, like my favorite thing to do every day that you really can't do in Canada, like 8 months out of the year, is like sit on a patio. Doesn't matter where, sit on a patio, double espresso, sparkling water, and just like taking in the environment, chilling. That's not something you can like really do most places. It's like
So true.
time here moves differently in like a really good way. People in Latin America in general, they don't live to work, they work to live. That makes sense. So that's like the biggest thing of freedom for me. It's been like the biggest mind shift is not only adopting that, but taking that into my own work and like understanding like, okay, like work now, but like it, it, there's more to work than just working. It's actually working to live, to actually enjoy
Yes.
what you uh, built, and like yeah, just generally being able to take in the environment. So like it's like nine times out of 10 here. It's usually very beautiful out, well humid. But personally, I like that. Um, personally, I like that. Uh, yeah, people generally leave you alone, which is really nice. It's the perfect place if you just want to be left alone. You don't need like yeah, that that's like the biggest thing. It's like you just want to lock in. Even like Paraguay's the place to do it, 100%. Never been more focused on my business. It allows me to take more risks with
Yeah.
my business. I don't have to worry about that. For me, that's like part of freedom is being able to take risks and not have to worry about, okay, if I do this, am I going to be able to have to cut back on groceries, or like, am I going to go make rent next month? Like, these are the types of things that I was thinking about in North America. But since moving here, has granted me more freedom to be able to eventually capitalize on these potential risks that become less of a risk. So it's actually like a de-risk in some aspects.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there is an opportunity cost to staying in your home country, right? Every $2,200 rent payment that you make is like an extra $1,700 that you could be investing into your business.
yep.
You could be investing into your health. You could be just
Stock.
yeah, stocks, crypto. Like we've all seen the graph of like the compounding. It's like if you invest, eventually it just explodes. You're missing out on a lot of that explosion when you're spending so much more money. And you make a great point when it's like, freedom isn't it's not just like not it's not just about the law, right? Like a lot of people they think of freedom, they think, okay, I want to be able to own a gun and I want to be able to ride my motorcycle without my helmet and drive without a seatbelt. That's great. That's great. Don't get me wrong. And for the most part, all that stuff applies here. Like no one's gonna get on you for stupid little laws that shouldn't exist. But like actual freedom is like being able to do what you want with your days, do what you want with your time, and actually align yourself to your goals without being restricted by your economy and just like a society where like just going out and having a drink or having a coffee at a park, you might get approached by some homeless guy, or there might be a riot going on at that park, or some cop comes and says, hey, like you can't sit on that grass, you got to sit on that other grass. So it's the little things, right, that go way deeper than just like constitutional stuff that a lot of people think of America when they think of freedom. But bro, this is way more free than America is nowadays because of those things that actually matter, that actually impact the quality of your life day to day. So, so yeah, that's what I have on that topic. And then yeah, I guess last thing I'll ask you, what do you think are like some pro tips that you would give to someone who's specifically looking at Paraguay? What are some pro tips that you would give to them to kind of like fit in well with society and actually make this like a long-term base and get the benefits out of it that we've been talking about?
But from what I've been told,
If this audio is fucked by the siren, then oh well. Sorry about that, but hey, freedom. Things happen.
100%. From what I've been told, I don't know, dress well. Don't dress like me. Don't dress like a Slav or a homeless person. You'll be treated well. So like appearance is a big thing, especially just in general in Latin America. How you present yourself is typically how people are going to treat you in Latin America. That's from my own experience. Um, if you're gonna buy like, you have like internet at your house, get like a generator and connect the Wi-Fi to the generator. So then sometimes the power goes out,
Okay.
but then at least you'll have internet access. There's actually a pro tip uh, from Nino, uh, one of the guys I think that organizes this group. It's something he told me, which I thought was kind of genius. Uh, forget your like parkas or like winter coats in like North America. You don't need them. Just like sweatshirt or I don't know. It's probably fine. Umbrella, need umbrella here. It freaking rains. So if it rains in the city, expect everything to either slow down or shut down. Like just reorient your day. It's a
There's no
wash.
drainage.
Yeah, it's a wash.
Yeah.
It's done. So don't expect anything to get done if it rains like crazy. Um, yeah, I think that's probably those are my three main things I can think of right now. But like,
And then last question.
yeah,
How would you describe the people here? The locals, the Paraguayans. How has your experience been with them?
fantastic. I love the Paraguayan people. Um, I every store I go into, everyone's like super stoked to be there. It feels like the customer service is phenomenal. Um, in comparison to like North America, where a lot of people are just kind of like doing it to make ends meet, but like they're not like really happy to be there. It's been my biggest thing that stuck out to me is that people are just like generally seem more happy. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know. But things just like
The
I said,
freedom.
maybe it's the freedom. uh, it could be many things, but uh, as I said, generally, like Paraguayan people are just so sweet, and I think like I'm so blessed uh, to have been welcomed in with open arms by most people I've come across, and like I think that is such a beautiful thing. We discussed this earlier, where it's just like for me, like I look forward to being able to actually eventually give back and like help like establish something here because the opportunity that the Paraguayan government and the country has given me is unlock so many things for me that me as a person I feel obligated to give back. And there's no
Hundred
obligation,
percent.
but it just is feels like the right thing to do because as we all the things we talked about, freedom, the the culture, everything is just for me it's just like perfect. It's like I don't know. It feels otherworldly sometimes. It feels like wow, and I'm really here. I really did it. I
Yes.
escaped just living or just existing. Now I'm living.
Yes. Yes. That is a great point to finish off on. For those of you who are watching, once you come down to a place like this, you're gonna have those moments where you're gonna be like on like a rooftop or something, or just like riding like cruising through town, and you'll be like, "Yes, dude, I'm did it. I'm doing the things. I made it out. I like it here. I like the people. I feel the energy, and I see my future has just gotten so much brighter." So you'll that's the type of thing that you can't find online. You got to experience that for yourself. And then also the point you made on feeling obligated to give back, I think is just a natural byproduct of the generosity and the hospitality that the society has as a whole. Because what
Absolutely.
happens is when people are trusting of one another, they're not walking around with their guard up all the time, and they're more willing to just give up themselves for everyone else. By default, other people give up themselves for them. So it just creates this like mutual positive loop throughout the society that even us as foreigners, once we come and insert ourselves into it, we fall right in. So it's like another thing that's kind of hard to put into words, but I feel the same thing as well. It's just radiating off of me. Like everyone's helpful. Like no one's messed with me. No one's trying to like steal anything from me or scam from me. Everyone smiles. I go to my restaurants and my coffee shop and my gym, and I know the owners. And Esteban, ¿cómo estás? Ay, todo bien. It's like it's what a breath of fresh air, and it's just naturally I'm gonna do the same thing. Like if I find a wall on the ground, I'm gonna do everything I can to get that wall back to that person. I know they're gonna do it to me too. So um, and then obviously like you mentioned, long term projects like ways to truly give back to the society. That's genuine fulfillment. Like sure, money's great. Business is great. Come down here, you find your wife, awesome. But like, what do you want to be focused on when you're like 30, 40, 50 years old? That's the kind of stuff that this place can empower. So
I can't think of one, but one that comes to mind. I can't think of other ones, but one comes to mind is a great example of this is the Asuncion times.
yes, yes, Thank you for the plug. Shout out the Asuncion Times. We are putting Paraguay on the map. Shout out to myself at Gen Z Expat, Instagram, Twitter. Don't know if you have any platforms, anything you'd want to
Yeah,
wanna plug?
austingram.com.
AustinGraham.com. You heard it here for all of your.
It's like Instagram, but it's just me.
Okay, awesome. For all of your Austin Graham related needs, austingraham.com. Check it out. So that is it. We are going to go party and go try to stay alive in a very, very eventful night here for Paraguay. And we will see you when you get down here. Cheers.
Thank you.